He keepeth the path of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. He keepeth the path of judgment, and preserveth the way of the saints. Shalom, Akims and Aquims. This is your Hebrew Israelite brother, Mashaba, here in the city of Detroit. I'd like to give all praises and all honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us the truth, peace, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is your Hebrew Israelite brother, Mashaba, here in the city of Detroit. Okay? Welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is on, let's do this here. Today's lesson is on Proverbs chapter 2, verse 8. Okay. He keepeth the path of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Okay. We're going to start off by on verse 1. Okay, at the very beginning. Okay. Let's start this off. And remember, the Lord does keep the way of his saints. Our footsteps are ordered to him. You see, in all that we do. You see, he keepeth us in his way. You see? And so, starting off, this is verse 1. My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and hide my commandments with thee, so that the incline thine ear unto wisdom, because we need this wisdom. Remember, Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Remember that, okay? You see? And so, and apply thine heart to understanding. What understanding? The understanding of this word. The understanding of this truth comes upon us, is given to us from on high. Matthew chapter 13. Okay, is given to us from on high by the Almighty Yahweh. Verse 3. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, you see, and liftest up thy voice like a trumpet for understanding, you see, because that's what comes about when you are filled with the spirit of prophesying. It comes from this word. Verse 4, if thou seekest her as silver, her who? A woman? No, this word. For this word is known as Sophia. Sophia, okay? Okay? And so, if thou seekest her, Sophia, this knowledge, as silver, okay, as something that is of richness, and searchest for her as for hidden treasure, okay, then ye will be calling upon or using the same zest and zeal, okay, for knowledge. Because you got a lot of people that's got a zest and a zeal for the Lord, but they don't have a zest and a zeal for his knowledge. You see, you must know him. In order to know the Lord, to have a relationship with the Lord, you have to come into this knowledge, study to show thyself approved. You see? Verse 5, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord. You see? Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of what? Knowledge. You see? It's the beginning of knowledge. And find the Lord knowledge of God. You see? And find the knowledge of God. You see? And that's what it's about. Verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. This is what comes from the Lord. He makes sure that's just like when Yahweh Shai spoke parables. He spoke parables to his disciples. Okay? It wasn't for the ears of every man. Okay? Because remember, the Lord said, bring me the blind that can see, and the deaf that have ears that can hear. Okay, because it's all about the understanding of this knowledge, this truth. Okay, and coming from the Lord. Romans chapter 10, verse 17. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing comes by the words of who? Yahweh. You see, verse 7. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. This is for us. You see, this is for us. He led us for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly in this truth. You see, in this truth. Verse 8, he keepeth the path of judgment always set and ready. You see, always. And preserveth the way of his saints. He preserveth the way of the saints because we are thine that the Lord received from Yahweh. You see, and the Lord made it clear he has not lost not one of us. Okay, let's look into the cross reference of that verse and see what we get, what precepts come about. Okay, we got keepeth and, you see, keepeth. Got a lot of precepts on that. And these are precepts that pertain to this verse. Let's go start it off with Psalms chapter 1, verse 6. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, see, but the way of the ungodly shall perish, because they will stumble and fall. They are unknowledged. The simple go about, looking to be destroyed, while the prudent do looketh well to his goings. Okay. Psalm chapter 23, verse 3. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. You see, for his name's sake. That we do these things for the name of the Lord, that his name be amplified. You see, his name. Psalm chapter 121, verse 5. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon the right hand. You see, he's there for us all the time. Verse 6. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night, because we are shielded by the hand of the Lord. You see? And no one can remove us out of the hand of the Lord. You see? Verse 7. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. You see? The hard times, bad times. The Lord shall preserve us from those such things. He shall preserve thy soul. You see? And that's true. Verse 8. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. You see, this is what the Lord does for his saints, for his disciples. This is what he do. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 20. I led in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment. Just like when the chariots come to shut Esau, Edom down. The chariots coming for salvation for the saints and judgment for the 2/3 Edomites and the heathens. You see? You see? Isaiah chapter 35, verse 9. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up. Salakia. Okay. Now, where were we? Okay, we left off. It shall not be found. Okay. It shall not, a ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there. But the redeemed shall walk there. You see, because our paths are made safe. Okay, by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, with a stretched out hand. Okay, with a stretched out hand, he saves us. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 9. That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth to them that are in darkness. What darkness? The darkness of dumbness. Okay? Show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, and that means the ways of the Lord, because our ways will be that of the Lord. And their pastures shall be in all high places. You see? You see? Because as good shepherds, our job is to make sure there's much good grazing for the sheep to graze. Verse 10. They shall not hunger nor thirst. You see? Neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. You see? Because the Lord he got his hand shielded. For he that had mercy on them shall lead them even by the springs of water. Shall he guide them? We're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. You see? He preserveth the way for his saints. That's all it is to it. John chapter 10, verse 28. And I gave unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Talking about us, we shall never perish. Okay? Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. You see? No man can pluck us out of the hands of the Almighty living God. That's why we trust in him. Verse 29. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all. You see? And no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. You see? Because we are thine that was given unto the Lord. Thine of the Almighty Father. You see? This is pertaining to the to the word and. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 3. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. You see, we are well protected, well taken care of by the Almighty Father, Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua. And they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy words. You see? Verse 26. There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven in thy help. You see? Coming across the heavens to help and assist us. In his excellency, in all power on the sky, the chariots. You see? The Lord sent the chariots to watch over us, protect us, and to make sure that we have. Verse 27. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, taking care of us all the time, always looking out for us. And he shall thrust out the enemy, you see, from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. This is what the Lord has planned, and this is what the Lord does. To shield us, to take care of us, and to guide us, and to uplift us out of hellish situations. Whether we know that we're in a hellish situation or about to be going into a hellish situation, the Lord makes a way out for us. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. He makes a way out for us so that we don't have to bear all that is levied down upon us. We don't have to bear it all. The Lord removes it by making a way out for us. You see, verse 28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. You see? The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Always, also, his heavens shall drop down dew. What dew? The dew of the word. The dew of this great word. Verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by the Lord. You see? You can only be happy, exceedingly happy, and enjoy. You see? The shield of thy help, that's the Lord, his hand, and who is the word, the sword of thy excellency. And then, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee. You see? No matter what they say, they lying. They lying to us. When they do, we going to destroy you, we going to do this to you, we going to do that. No. They're lying. They're not going to do a thing to us. Thus saith the Lord. And thou shalt tread upon their high places. Tread upon their necks. You see? Tread upon their necks. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 9. He will keep the feet of his saints. And the wicked shall be silent in darkness, as dumbness. For that means they have no knowledge. For by strength shall no man prevail. That means no man. Psalm chapter 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man, talking about a righteous man, worshiping Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, are ordered by the Lord. You see, we need to do a video on this. Psalm chapter 37, verse 23. We're going to do a video on this precept here. Let's read it again. The steps of a good man, that's a righteous man, of the Lord, a disciple of the Lord, are ordered by the Lord. You see, and he delighteth in his way. We do. We delight in the way of the Lord. You see, verse 24. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. You see, because we're not. Because the Lord is not going to allow us to be utterly destroyed. Only the false prophets, only the false ones. For the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. That righteous hand of the Lord. Verse 28. For the Lord loveth judgment. He loved judgment. You see? When you see people being judged out there, the Lord is loving that. He's loving judging people. And forsaken not his saints. He don't forsake us. He keeps us. They are preserved forever. You see, we have a forever preservation. But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. Flat out. Cut off. And that's all it is to that. Psalm chapter 37, verse 31. The law of his God is in his heart. You see, that's his heart of mind. His heart of mind, lam. Okay? That's the Hebrew word for lam. None of his steps shall slide. You see, because our feet is on a steady ground. Okay? Psalm chapter 66, verse 9. Which holdeth our soul in life, and suffereth not our feet to be moved. You see? We'd like to take this time to remind you to press the like button. Press the like button. That helps out for the algorithms of this YouTube channel. So go ahead and press that like button. Make sure you press, if you haven't already, press the subscription button. Press the subscription button. Go ahead and press that subscription button. And the notification bell. So that way you will receive special notification alerts as to each time that I release a new video for your spiritual edification. The sheep must be fed. The sheep must be fed. Now let's get back into this word, okay? Psalm chapter 145, verse 20. The Lord preserveth all them that loveth him. Remember that. The Lord preserveth all them that loveth him. And the Lord also made it clear. He who hate me love death. You see? You see? You understand that? If you hate the Lord, that means you love death. For all the wicked will be destroyed. You see? There's nowhere around it. The wicked shall be destroyed. They sit on a high place now and they think they got it going on. But that is short-lived. It is short-lived. They can't take nothing that they have heaped up upon themselves. They can't take none of it with them when they perish. And all is going to be burnt up when those ICBMs come down, those missiles. You see, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 21. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. That's the word, thy commandments. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. You see? Keep that. Verse 22. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. You see that? You see? So that way, instead of having, Esau stepping on our necks, we have grace to thy neck. Grace upon our necks. You see? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 23. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, because we worship the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai. And thou foot shall not stumble, because we on steady level ground. of the Lord. Verse 24. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, because we know that we are protected by the Lord. Thou shalt lie down, and thou sleep shall be sweet. You see, because the Lord makes a way for us to lay down and sleep and have a wonderful, sweet sleep. Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 40. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Who's them? Us saints, his disciples, the sons of Yahweh. And I will not turn away from them. He won't hide or forsake us. To do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts. You see, our heart of minds, that they shall not depart from me. We shall not, because where else can you go? You cannot. There is no letting go of the plow and turning back to society. Why would you turn back to a society that's about to be destroyed? By who? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the destroyer. So the thing to do is to worship him. You see, Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 41. Yea, I will rejoice over them to do them good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. This is what the Lord is going to do. For who? Us, his saints, his faithful ones. Okay? 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 5. Who are kept by the power of God. Us, the saints, through faith. Right. You see, because we show our works, we show our faith by our works. By faith, okay, studying to show ourselves approved. By faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. And so because the Lord is going to reveal whom his men are. Some of us are going to receive our spiritual powers. You see? And with some of us, most definitely having those spiritual powers, we will be that standard lifted up against the enemy. You see, Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19. Okay? And so, Jude chapter 1, verse 24. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling, okay, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory, with exceeding joy. You see, with exceeding joy. And so, Lord's willing, you were edified. We're going to go ahead and end the video off there, okay? Hopefully you were edified and provoked to thought and understanding, and hopefully you receive some spiritual edification and some precepts that maybe you can use, that you can make a video of your own. Okay, the sheep must be fed. The sheep must be fed, and we are the good shepherds of the Lord. Okay, so we'd like to take this time and also remind you to press the like button and press the subscription button, so that way you will receive special notification alerts each time that I release a video for your spiritual edification. Okay, so we give all praises and all honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the hopeful elect.